Ooh. Huh. Hey, y'all. It's your man, D-Real. It's Thursday. So y'all know what that means. It's a Thursday live going down. Got a lot of issues I want to discuss. Y'all can see what a lot of the topics are. I'm gonna try to get through all of it in the time allotted. It's my Kwanzaa cup filled with tea. It's got a little bit of creamer in it, some monk fruit. I decided to, deviate just a tiny bit off the path. I try to stay away from sugar sometimes. Not to have as much, because when we start found it, first comment, Black Jesus, first one in the building. What's up, my dog? A lot to talk about. I love your insightful interactions. That is the best way I can put it, because that's what it is. They're insightful interactions. A lot of people tend to just kind of, because they're here and blah, I'm just going to blurt out and say whatever I want to say. And you don't get the gray hairs being dumb. Well, some people do, but most of us don't. Ray Smith, what is up, brother Ray? Glad that you could make it today. I appreciate it, because your feedback, sir, is going to be important on a couple of these topics. So I encourage you, brother Smith, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. All right. Y'all ready to get into it? Because everybody just kind of trickle in as they trickle in. And then next thing you know, it's like 10, 15 people in here talking about what I missed. Get here early. I'm messing with y'all. I want to play a little bit of my music. You know what I'm saying? Because since YouTube and everybody on social media is like, blah, you can't play that. Blah, you can't play that. That's not copywritten. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm throwing in my tunes. On some of my videos, like the ones where I do poetry, I try to put a little bit of music behind it, because when you do performance poetry, it's cool if you're in front of a group of people, but in a setting like where you're recording it and putting it somewhere else, it needs to be, needs to have like a little tune or something to it. And I got a couple of apps that I mess with, BandLab and Soundtrap, and between the two of them, I come up with some pretty unique beats. So I ain't tripping. Do your worst. Anyway, the first topic I want to talk about, y'all, is, wait for it, elder respect. Okay. As a lot of people know, I do a little radio show on Wednesdays. It's on 106.1 KONR FM. You can stream it at outnorthradio.com. So it's not just an Alaska thing. We know how to stream here. Anyway, I had a guest on there named Nate Davis, man. And this brother, oh my goodness, man, he was so just his life experiences, period, were just to be respected. Not only is this man a community leader and an organizer, he is a 30-year veteran of the U.S. Army, 31 years to be exact. Retired as a lieutenant colonel. My man played in the NFL for the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants. And he comes from a family of nine. Okay? The stories that this man sat and shared with us. If y'all want to hear, what he was talking about, y'all can go to outnorthradio.com. where the shows are. Go to the Business Mixer, the November 3rd one. That was yesterday. And you can hear, the interview in its entirety. It's the second interview, not the first one. So it'll be after the 30-minute mark. But just the respect that man commanded when he walked in the room was just, and it wasn't like, he was exuding himself or being, blatant or arrogant or anything like that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. To view my not view. You can't view what's on the radio. Listen to my radio show. Go to outnorthradio.com and check out the Business Mixer show at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. I probably could have did the radio thing and put that in there, but outnorthradio.com is all you should really need. But anyways, the simple fact that the way this man spoke and how he spoke, I mean, it was just so, you could tell. Oh, and I forgot, he's a Q dog, Omega Sci-Fi. Okay, and he was rocking his Omega Sci-Fi grill proud. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact, he walked in the room and he's, he stood pretty tall, about like 6'2", 6'3", and just the stories he was telling, man, about, the NFL and the Army and pledging Q and all of that. It was a wonderful, rich experience. I think it's the way we should all try to endeavor to live our lives. And it kind of opened my eyes up to, well, not really opened my eyes up to, but just kind of made me say, okay, there's a rap song that says, I respect the respectable. And that should be a no-brainer for most of us. But a lot of times we feel unnecessary obligations to people who don't show themselves worthy of our time or respect, that kind of thing. And and I'm starting to get up there now in age. I'd consider myself middle-aged. So I just kind of live my life by, real simply, by the golden rule. Diesel in the building. What's up, man? Yes, sir. We live. We in the building talking about elder respect. We're always taught to respect our elders, but we don't always do it. And I think the reason we don't always do it is because of our perceived notions about individuals. It's just, age is just like anything else. I know some old guys that are sharp as a whip, and I know some old guys as dumb as a bag of rocks. Respect, what I'm saying? You gotta give it to get it. Isn't that what we talking about when we talking about respect? But I just mean, this cat was just somebody who walked in the room commanding respect, just the demeanor, the way he carried himself. It was, dare I say, he's an excellent role model because he's a community organizer. He's also a mentor. He's the coach of a middle school wrestling team here in town, and he says a lot of his practices, they start out with wrestling, but he ends up, talking to these boys and schooling them about life. You know what I'm saying? I did a little mentoring myself out at the Alaska Military Youth Academy for a couple of years, and I would go out there and just kind of talk to and speak into, the young men's lives over there. Some of them received it, some of them didn't. you know, and you see them out on the streets, man, and they'll roll up on you. Like I was in a store one day and one of them rolled up on me and like, oh yeah, it's you, Mr. Darrell, and blah, blah, blah. I remember, guess what? I got a job, you know, my girlfriend had a baby and we living together and we doing good, and you know, that kind of a thing. And that makes you feel good about doing what you do. And I guess the takeaway I want everybody to take from this is try to live a life that you think people will respect. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of respect, unless anybody do y'all have any Jewel? Because I know, you know, Mr. Ray, he's the elder in the room. And I know if he want to drop some knowledge about respect and all of that, bruh, go right ahead. You can school a few folks up in this room, myself included, when it comes to being an elder and being respected and being respectable. So drop that in the comments anytime you feel like it, Mr. Ray. And I'm sure it will be a jewel regardless of when it comes. Like I said, speaking of respect, a cat who has earned my respect, or should I say, earned more of my respect, Colin Kaepernick. Hats off to Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick has a mini series on Netflix right now, and it's called Colin in Black and White. Theo, what's up, my dude? We in here. We just got done talking about elder respect. And right now we talk about the Colin Kaepernick special, Colin in Black and White. Yeah, D, that's how most people were raised. But the aspect I was talking about it from is you as an elder also. What do you do, or what have you done to command respect? But yeah, I get where you're coming from. Most of us are. Yep, D Steezel, he gets around like Tupac. Anyways, this Colin Kaepernick special. I think it's like a 6-episode series. We have an obligation to the next generation to be the light they need to see. I told y'all Mr. Ray was going to drop some jewels. I told y'all he was going to drop some jewels. Never disappoint me. That's why I rocks with you, Mr. Smith. That's why I rocks with you. Anyway, I'm trying to holler at y'all about this Colin Kaepernick special. Anyway, did y'all know the same situation that Colin Kaepernick went through with the NFL? He went through trying to get a college scholarship. Nobody wanted to mess with him. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, he was the superior athlete in the situation. He was the superior athlete in the situation. So his life was the average person, if the average person had Colin Kaepernick's life, they would have been set up to fail. Okay, because number one, Colin Kaepernick was adopted by Caucasian parents who did not understand what the Black experience entails in an all-white town and the ramifications of what being biracial is to certain individuals. Okay. Colin Kaepernick grew up in the 90s. So in the 90s, it was basketball. You know, Jordan was still in there, but we was all being captivated by the Sixers. And the answer, who? Who don't remember that night when Allen Iverson broke Michael Jordan's ankles? You know what I'm saying? Just, I was like, that can be done, you know, to Michael Jordan? But that's Michael Jordan. And these are the people, you know, that Colin Kaepernick looked up to, but they seem so far away because he grew up in Turlock, California. Let me tell you, I'm passed through Turlock, California, and that's all the hell I want to do with Turlock, California. Yeah, D, you need to watch it, man. It's fire. I thought it was gonna be at first when I saw it, I thought it was gonna be like a like a biopic, but it was more like or not a biopic, but a documentary. I thought it was gonna be like a documentary, and it was more like a biopic movie. He even had like a little young actor playing him from his middle school years up to through his high school years. Yeah, Jesus, Black Jesus. It is must watch TV. If you have not watched that special, man, I'm telling you, the part that really you dig in and focus on is microaggressions. I mean, oh my goodness, his microaggressions wasn't even micro. You know, a lot of them was macroaggressions. You know, there's one scene where I guess his team had won like a baseball championship or something, and they was at a hotel and he was in the water, and the manager of the hotel came over to him and was like, "You're one of the good ones." And this was at a point in his life where he was starting to awaken to microaggressions and folks saying little things like that. The little white kids go and grab some cookies and some apples. He go over there, try to grab a cookie and an apple. They're like, "What room are you in?" Microaggressions, man. I mean, they are very real things, and you don't stop and think about them until you've been the victim of one. And it could be people that they're just funning, or they're just trying to have a little ha 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 hee 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 ho ho ho, but you ain't feeling it that day. And because he was a young man, he couldn't really say what he wanted to say. He had something boiling around in him, and his exposure to the Black experience and him trying to figure out his feelings and how he felt about it. It was all just like, yeah. Oh, Master P had a documentary. I see. I ain't even up on that. Appreciate that, D. Steezel. I'm gonna have to dig off in the archives and find that joint, because I know P got a lot to say, being a entrepreneur and having to come up in the world of we don't want you to come up. On BET, yep, got that. I will pull that down and check that out this weekend. Is it like a mini series, or is it like a little joint, a little standalone that you could just sit and watch and be done? Yeah, what's it called, D? So we know what it is that we getting ready to rock with, But overall, strongly suggest that y'all check out that Colin Kaepernick special. It's called Colin in Black and White. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It's on Netflix. Boy, I mean, it might tell you some stuff you already know, but also it just make them say, my life." Oh my goodness. Y'all are a lively bunch. I love it. Question. Do y'all think there is more? No Limit Chronicles. Got it. Question. Do y'all think there is more attention? It's too quiet in here. I'm going to have to put on a tune in mine. Let's just put that one back on. I like that one. Question. Third time. Do you think there is more attention paid to in the media when a non-person of color is missing or dies versus people of color? Let's just put it like that. And I am treading in semi-dangerous territory, but I ain't scared. I know I carry myself. Ray Smith, the elder statement says absolutely. And where am I coming from with this? One Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito died, well, I'll say died, was killed in September. And the one suspect they had, well, Black Jesus, there's a missing young black man right now by the name of, was it Jelani Taylor is his name? No, that's Breonna Taylor. I know it's his first name is Jelani. And see, shame on me for not even knowing the brother's name. But I know that brother's been missing a while, and the media coverage that's been on him ain't been as heavy as the media coverage that's been on Gabby Petito, and we already know for a fact she did. Why? You know what I'm saying? I guess, did we pay that much attention when Breonna Taylor? Yeah, we paid attention when Breonna Taylor got shot, but was we like going all extra hard? Yeah, we were. Breonna Taylor's a bad example. My point being, that child's gone already. And the person that they thought killed her is gone too. So why are there still articles and stuff like that, jumping around, popping off? What's the responsible black male presence in these areas where the children are coming up missing? Well, first, Theo, didn't say children. But since we want to know, I'm going to go ahead and kick knowledge. Jelani Day is the young man's name. His death was said to have been caused by drowning, but the boy was an avid swimmer. Help me out here, Black Jesus. Come in here with one of them lightning strokes. What, ha, hu, huh. See? And just like you said, the point. There's the point. Cramps. Okay. But that's what we got to go with, because that's what they say the cause of death was drowning. You're asking because if he were allowed to be on point, these occurrences would be mitigated. You know what? I thought about that too, Theo. There ain't enough of that. And I know a lot of times what we do, we always talk about what the problem is, what the problem is, what the problem is, what the problem is. Solutions. That, what you are stating in your comment, is a potential solution, but how are we going to get people to come together? Because I know we had, for a second there, we had what was it? The NFA committee? Is that what they were called? And it was just a group of them. They seemed kind of paramilitary. They were in Georgia. The NF, or was it the NFC? The not effing around coalition. What, wasn't that what they were called? I don't remember. But guess what? I can tell you. Yep, the NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition. Yeah. So why wouldn't something like that work? I mean, we a lot of us here are voices in our community, myself included. So can't some of that responsibility fall on us to kind of become organizers? And again, this kind of bounces back to what I was saying earlier in the hour about elders. And elders, when elders can't blaze the path anymore, then they clear the path for people who can continue blazing that path. Oh, well. Okay, Theo says Black fathers need to come together and oversee our children. Okay, watch over our children, mentor them, protect them. What about those of us who are already doing that? Can we not duplicate that process and teach others how to do it? It doesn't have to be under straight up teaching. You know, the process of mentoring has nothing to do with teaching so much as it does trying to be a good example for someone to follow or to give them a blueprint of something that they could or should follow. Not necessarily say, you need to do this, you need to do this, and you need to do this. It's more of a, well, in that particular situation, I would do this, but that's just me. Or if you were in a situation like that, you could try A, B, or C. Yes, I agree 100%, Theo. We need to come together and share the load. Just like I'm always saying, united voices are louder voices. When we come together, I mean, that's what everybody else on the face of this earth is doing to advance, to better themselves. We're coming together. But I'm going to say it, and I don't mean no disrespect by it, but it's still the truth anyway. Sometimes, as people of color, we can be our own worst enemies and critics. So, first thing we got to do is like get over the crabs in the bucket mentality. We need to get past that. We need, see, again, Brother Ray know what I'm talking about. Is whenever, you know what I'm saying, we trying to come up or do something, there's always one of us talking about, look at him. Oh, he think he did. He think he's and it's us. It ain't nobody else. We want to point fingers and say the man or somebody else or somebody that deal with the internal. And this is me too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Deal with the internal before we start fooling around with the external, because we all get now, like I was saying with this NFAC, that's an example of a group of us that done came together and are of what the Old Testament in the Bible calls like-minded. Okay, the people who built the Tower of Babel, they were so damn united that God said, I gotta split these people up, because they was trying to build a tower to heaven and was doing it, and God was like, y'all, matter of fact, I'm gonna split you up and I'm gonna make y'all talk different languages. So unity can be dangerous to certain people in positions of power. Ooh, that's a jewel. So, what I'm getting at essentially is come together right now. Okay, and speaking of coming together, nice transition. Nobody comes together better, at least currently. Nobody comes together better than the LGBTQ community. I think a lot of us are amazed at the progress that the LGBTQ community has made as opposed to the civil rights movement, which has been around longer. Here's what I point out to people. The LGBTQ community already has built-in unity. The LGBTQ community consists of men, women, black people, white people, Asian people, and every shade of people in between. And for you, Black Jesus and D Diesel, I'm not going where you think I'm going with it. What I'm saying is they know how to come together. And we're angry at them because they know how to come together. I mean, granted, they got a lot of variables going on that make it infinitely more easier for them to come together versus, yes, that is what I'm getting at. Okay, so we are all of the same ethnicity, but we are not all of the same mindset. Some of us are over here too busy chasing paper. Some of us are too busy over here chasing tail. Some of us are too busy not chasing nothing. We just not doing anything. And we're not, and I say we, and contributing to the cause. Well, man, Theo say, we sort of kind of are already, though, Mr. Smith, and it was the king of Wakanda who brought us together. Our common love for the king has introduced us to people we didn't know existed, and based on my conversation with you all, we're all good, decent people. Yes. Yes, I agree too, Theo. Most of the people that I've interacted with since, starting my page, it's been cool. It's been, for the most part, community. But as somebody was saying, duplicate. We got to duplicate this process. Okay. If we can come together, not to say that the Recast T'Challa movement is insignificant, but as far as lives being impacted in a serious way, if we can come together on this, what's stopping us from coming together in every other way? Anybody? I mean, I know what we're going to say because of some of the aforementioned things, but also too, have y'all ever heard of Flame Monroe? No? Flame Monroe is a transgender stand-up comedian, a trans woman. And this is someone from the LGBTQ community saying, okay, the focus, and this was back during the Trump administration because they made a lot of comments and remarks with regard to the Trump administration. But if y'all get a chance, man, y'all need to check her out. One of the things that she was talking about was that the LGBT, and this is an LGBTQ community member saying this. Okay, saying the LGBT community is focused on the wrong stuff. They focusing on all of this stuff that don't matter. Yes, funny. You need to check out Flame Monroe if you haven't. I didn't think it was going. It was funny as hell. I was shocked, But the point of the matter is, if there are people in the LGBTQ community that are saying they are confused and kept it real simple, you either like penis, vagina, or both. Her words, not mine. And up until a couple of years ago, that's how simply it was regarded. But I ain't going to get into the issues of sensitivity and all of that. But just suffice to say, they are an excellent example of unification. They are an excellent example of synergy. They are an excellent example of, Flame, and also too, Flame Monroe was defending Dave Chappelle's stance on the LGBTQ community. So if it's people from the LGBTQ community coming out and saying, okay, y'all doing a bit much, that ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to leave that. And anybody who see this can't say, oh, D-Real need to be canceled. Because I ain't Dave Chappelle. I could probably get canceled. Anyways, though, y'all. My last topic that I want to discuss, because this has been great, man. Y'all are a nice variety of people in here. Y'all sync well, y'all vibe well, y'all are real respectful of one another. And I respect that y'all are respectful of each other. Yep, didn't she insult Adele Gibbons back in the day by saying she looked like you have seen Flame Monroe. I never understood why a heterosexual male feels threatened by a gay man anyway. If anything, they increase a heterosexual male's success rate with heterosexual women. Gay men. Okay, I rock with it. All right, yeah, sure. Why not? I've been out the game for a few years, so I I wouldn't know. I did a video, movie review, forthcoming. And that is why, Black Jesus, I'm moving on. The Harder They Fall. Real quick, how many people in the room have watched The Harder They Fall? Or maybe a better question would be, how many people in the room have not watched The Harder They Fall? And no, I am not going to give away key plot elements, and my review is spoiler free. What Black Jesus say? My God, instant classic. Haven't watched it yet, but I'm cool. Bruh, let me tell y'all. I did a video this morning. I need to edit it and get it up. But I did a video this morning on The Harder They Fall. And yes, heck yeah, it's an instant classic. Bruh, the soundtrack. For a Western, I was shocked and surprised. Bruh, there are songs on this soundtrack with coffee. If you ain't into reggae, you don't know nothing about coffee, you need to get up on game. Barrington Levy. I know y'all know who Barrington Levy is. Kid Cudi and Jay-Z. CeeLo Green. Seal. And Lauryn Hill. What? Lauryn Hill? Yes, Lauryn Hill is busting a verse on a song called Black Woman. You should go look that up right now. L Boogie still got it, bro. She was spitting hot fire. Man. And that's just the music. It got nothing to do with the performances. Number one, or at least the two performances you need to keep your eye on. Regina King and Lakeith Stanfield. Regina King as Treacherous Trudy and Lakeith Stanfield as Cherokee Bill. They knocked it out the park. And you know what else that I really, 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 really loved about this Black Western? Was that it wasn't no yes a bossing in it. And it wasn't a bunch of that slave period crap that we always see when we go back to that era. It was educated, articulate Black people with thriving damn businesses. I was like, what? This movie is off the chain. Action, yes, action. Humor, yes, humor. R.J. Cyler as young Beckworth, I liked him too. But Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield knocked it out the park. Your boy Jonathan Majors from Lovecraft Country knocked it out the park. Delroy Lindo, yes, that Delroy Lindo. He plays Bass Reeves. And that's another cool thing. Speaking of Bass Reeves, Everybody in this movie is a real person. The account of the movie, the events that happened in the movie, fictional. But the people in the movie, 100% real. Bass Reeves, just to give y'all like a little bit of history, Bass Reeves is the black marshal that white people stole the idea for the Lone Ranger from. Okay, Bass Reeves was a marshal. Well, actually, he was a bounty hunter first, and he would go and track down, criminals. And some of them criminals were Caucasians, and there were some Caucasian criminals that like, I ain't no getting ready to take me in. Throwing that mask, boom, the legend of Bass Reeves. And that's another thing in the movie when they talk about people, when they talk about Bill Pickett and they talk about Rufus Buck and they talk about Nate Love, they got reputations. People know who they are. And as one person pointed out to me, a lot of the people in that show were outlaws, criminals. And a friend of mine was saying, okay, they didn't have no choice back then. Sure they did. You telling me all freed slaves were criminals? You know what I mean? So I get that. Denzel's character in The Magnificent Seven might have been based off of him or marshals like him. I think a lot of characters, especially black cowboys, are based off of Bass Reeves. And if you watch, oh no, I ain't sleeping on Deon Cole. You know what I forgot more than anything? When I look at Deon Cole, I forget he's also an actor too. He's on Blackish. Of course he can act. He did a very fine job as the go-to. What here? Let me give you some of these names, bro, because these names are just, they are off the chain awesome. I absolutely LUV it. Jonathan Majors plays the role of Nat Love, and that's the main character of the story. The story revolves around him. I'd never heard of Nat Love. Edie Gathegi plays Bill Pickett. I've heard of Bill Pickett before. Even Damon Wayans Jr. makes a brief appearance in this movie. I mean, they was just showing black love all around. You know what this movie reminded me of? Given that soundtrack and the plethora of amazing black actors, it reminded me of back in the 90s, man, when we used to rock movies like Boys in the Hood and Above the Rim and Menace to Society and all of them movies that had Players Club that had those bomb tracks, man, and you could just sit and listen to those soundtracks and just be like, this is and not skip one. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, RJ Seiler is Jim Beckworth. He's the young sharpshooter that got something to prove. And there's also a young lady in there by the name of Danielle Deadweiler, who plays a character named Cuffy. And when we meet Cuffy got a pair of brass knuckles and she watching the door at a saloon. And we like, how that little old video? Boy, oh boy. Nat Love. Oh yeah, Ernie Hudson. Okay. All right. Y'all. Oh, and Zazie Beetz as Shotgun Mary. You knew that when you saw Zazie Beetz character, and then you saw Regina King's character, Treacherous Trudy, you knew it was just a matter of time for them two squared off. And when they do square off, it's a whole problem. Bruh, if you have not seen The Harder They Fall, what you waiting for? It's on Netflix right now. Okay? I guarantee you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Other than a lot of black people dying, but it was the West that happened. Black people died when they shot each other. I mean, it's probably not something to glorify, but at the same time, it was very well done. I I can't hate. It was a very well done movie. Um, comedian Sinbad. Y'all crazy. I like Sinbad, man. Sinbad, for what Sinbad was, he did it well. He did it well. I mean, he had work. Not after a different world too much, but Sinbad is Sinbad, bro. What you gonna do? But y'all, this been a cool Thursday live. Y'all in the room, everybody in the room, Mr. Smith, uh, Black Jesus, Theo B, Diesel, all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. And if there is anything I can do to help y'all perpetuate things that y'all are trying to do, I have I have the ear of people who listen to the radio. I got a radio format. Theo can tell you. I put you on if you got a business that you want to perpetuate, that you want to give some airplay to, if you got an issue, a topic that you just want to get on and discuss because it's on your mind and you feel like people will benefit from it, outnorthradio.com, man, or hit me up, DM me, man, if y'all want to get in there and get on. Holla at me. A1 since day one, baby, already. All right, I got the bus out because I got to go be a good elder. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm going to be back next Thursday. I hope y'all will too. Coming at y'all with some more fun live stuff. And until then, y'all be good. Be good to each other.